Hey, this is Brian with adspend.com. Welcome to a new YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a pretty awesome case study with you that you can immediately use to implement into your business and achieve similar results. So if you're running YouTube ads right now and you're having trouble scaling past the $500, $1,000 or beyond mark, this case study video that I'm going to share with you is going to help you. And if you're running YouTube ads for clients and they're having trouble scaling and they're like, why are the results not getting better? Why are the cost per leads actually getting higher? Why are the cost per calls rising, right? This big idea that you can take away from this case study that I'm going to share with you is going to give you that ability to push past that bottleneck, that ceiling that you're running into, and really scale past the $1,000 a day in YouTube ads mark. And it works time and time again, no matter what business, no matter what niche, and no matter what offer that you're in the online education business. Okay, so pay attention. At the end of the video, I want you to comment down below what the big idea or big takeaway is, because I'm going to be mentioning it a few times throughout this video, and I really want you to ingrain this in your brain, because this is the same principle that I was taught by my first YouTube ads coach, Tommy Powers, who made sure to make this a priority for me and for all of our clients that work with us at adspend.com, because this is the true way to scale with YouTube ads. So the case study video is one of our clients, Justin Thomas. He's the founder and CEO of a company called Insurance Advertising Masters. And before working with us, Justin was running his ads all by himself on YouTube, and he was running the same ads that worked for him when he first launched for about a year, right? Over a year, in fact. And he came on to work with us when he was finally ready to hand off his YouTube ads to a team of experts like us who can take it off his plate, save him time, and handle all of the heavy lifting for him, because he was at a point in his business where he was making, a significant amount of money per month, right? Multiple six figures. And he needed his time back to be able to grow his business, to now step into more income generating activities for him. That's, more important than being the one who's managing all of his ad campaigns or coming up with new creative ideas to scale his YouTube ads, right? And that happens when you get to a certain point at business, which is why clients love working with us, because we can take all of that heavy lifting off their plate for them. And so he signed on as a client for us. And it's funny because we went through our creative process, which usually is the whole first month, is refreshing the creatives, writing new creatives, getting him new ads, filmed, edited, and ready to launch. And the funny part about this creative process is that, in the past, clients have almost discounted it or threw it to the side because of our lack of doing a better job of setting the right expectations for them. So it's really our fault, but we would be about a month into running ads for clients, or, some clients that come to work with us, they're already running YouTube ads like Justin. And, we take over their ads about, a week in after we get onboarded with the account. And then as we're creating new ads for them, let's say the results aren't so good the first month of working together. They totally forget that we are producing new ads for them to refresh their ads, and it's not their fault, but it just takes time, which is why you can't expect a agency or someone who you hire to run your ads for you to immediately beat you the first month. Like it's almost impossible. Now, I'm not saying it is for sure impossible. It does happen. We've done it plenty of times, especially with just the targeting and media buying alone, given our, proven YouTube ads process. However, the biggest needle mover is usually always going to be new ads. Okay, so we were about a month in after taking over his accounts on YouTube, and the results weren't so good. And it wasn't just a matter of the YouTube ads. It was a little bit of the sales side of the business as well, which is obviously a huge piece to the YouTube ads puzzle. If your sales team's not closing, or your sales team's not showing up and they're not closing deals, then it doesn't matter how qualified the leads are. It doesn't matter how good or how many leads we're driving to your business. If they're not closing, your team's not closing them, you're not going to make more money. And that was kind of a combination of things that were happening. And so he was feeling, and he'll tell this to you himself, a little bit of cold feet, like, I don't know if this would make sense anymore. Maybe I should, talk about doing things differently. Maybe he was just feeling like maybe this wasn't the best idea. Maybe he should do the ads himself again. But the reality is that's taking one step forward to take two steps back, because if you're a business owner running YouTube ads, right, yourself, and you want to scale and get out of the weeds, you need someone to run the ads for you. You need someone to save you time, energy, and effort by paying them to take this heavy lifting off your plate, which is exactly what Justin was paying us for, which is exactly what our clients pay us for, to do this for them, because they don't have time to do it anymore. They don't want to spend time doing it themselves anymore. And they want a team of experts they can trust to take it off their plate and handle it for them. And so a month in, he's feeling cold feet, right? The results aren't so good, but we haven't even launched the new ads yet. I want you to pay attention to that. We haven't even launched the new ads yet. With every done-for-you client that comes to work with us, we script the ads for them, new ads. We coach them on how to film the ads. I personally hop on a one-on-one call with the client, and I use my 5 years of experience working with legendary marketers behind the scenes on some of the biggest marketing campaigns, like Dean Graziosi, right? When I was working full time for him on campaigns with Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson, right? Spending millions of dollars in YouTube ads, watching them film the ads behind the scenes, how they came up with new hooks, new angles, new big ideas, and using that experience to help clients like Frank Kern, Roland Frazier, Ryan Dice, all these other guys that really don't need me to help them with, the creative necessarily. But I've taken these proven techniques and habits and boiled it down into a process where I can give you essentially the cheat codes in a call, where I can give you the ideas, the creative pattern interrupts to use to really make the ads come to life, which saves you time from having to think about, how do I film the ad? Where should I do this? Should I use my phone? Should I use my camera? All that stuff that just bogs down your mental energy and takes you away from higher income generating activities, right? That's the stuff that we handle on that, what we call script rehearsal coaching calls. So we don't just write the scripts for you like most people. We also coach you on how to actually film the ads, because you and I both know, reading this or watching this video right now, that no matter how good the script is, if the actor sucks, if the actor doesn't read the script in a very, engaging, exciting way that's going to hook the viewer to continue watching and get them to click, then it's going to fall flat on its face. And so that's what we do with the script rehearsal coaching calls with all of our done-for-you clients. Plus, right, we also edit the videos for them. So we do a full done-with-you, done-for-you creative process. Besides us filming the ads, right, we're doing everything for our clients. And that's very important to keep in mind, because again, that's about a 3-week to 4-week process, depending on how fast our clients film the ads. So that's the whole first month that we're doing on the side, as well as taking over the ads account. So a month in, cold feet, the results aren't so good. He's thinking about, maybe this wasn't the best idea. The new ads haven't even been launched yet. So that brings us to this data set right now. This data set was taken 2 months ago, right? April 1st to April 19th. And the best performing video up until this point was this video. And I'll play it for you guys really quickly. Let me just make sure that I have my speakers on, so that way you guys can hear this.
Selling insurance or being a financial advisor and not using funnels, Facebook ads, and YouTube ads is like living in the 1930s and deciding that your number one form of transportation is a horse. So let me paint a picture for you of the average insurance agent or financial advisor.
By the way, like, such a sick flow, right? Like, Justin's got the flow going. Like, this is dope. And ultimately, it's a very simple ad, right? You can see the hook was very strong, but the ad itself is just him in his studio at his office, just talking direct to camera.
They get oversold on how great the industry is. They get told how easy it is. They get told that they can make a crap load of money. So they jump in with both feet, only to...
And keep in mind, this ad has about 35,000 views, okay? That's important to remember. And so this ad was the one that was running for, years, all right? And ultimately, the cost per view was 41 cents. The cost per 1,000 impressions was $48. The click-through rate was less than 1%. We like to see at least a 1% click-through rate. This depends on the industry, obviously, and ultimately this was making him money, so 1% is just a number that we like to aim for. The cost per click was $6. That's important to remember. The landing page conversion rate was 23%, okay? And the cost per lead was $26. Now, the cost per call, $322, all right? So decently expensive. The ad spend was $27,000 and the revenue was $26,000. So he had a negative return on ad spend, which is very important to remember. Again, this ad's been running for over a year, right? And so ultimately, it just was running its course. It was fatiguing. The results were fatiguing as well. The cost per lead was very high. The cost per call was very high. and he was losing money on the front end with his advertising on YouTube ads. And so fast forward to once we finally launched our new round of creatives following our proven process that we do for every client that we work with, here is what the new video looks like.
What if there was a way for you to get more insurance prospects and appointments without ever making an outbound call, chasing a single person, knocking on doors, or leaving your house at all? Which means that you can finally work on your own time and scale your business to 50K per month or more. Hi, I'm Justin Thomas, founder of Insurance Advertising Masters. I created the Masters Edge dual funnel system because I wanted to help insurance agents and agencies free themselves from lead vendors and get off the hamster wheel to where appointments are coming to them so that they can finally scale their business.
All right, so I'm not going to play any more than that. I'm going to put this case study in below in the description so you guys can check it out. But ultimately, in the first 32 seconds, you can see why this ad is just far superior. And check this out, 62,000 views already since April 18th. It's almost double the amount of views that this other one has. Now, why is this so important, right? What about this ad is so much different than the first one? I want you guys to put in the comments down below, what is different about this ad? Well, number one, the hook itself is already so powerful. So I'm going to point out a few things that make this ad really that much better than the first one.
What if there was a way for you to get more insurance prospects and appointments without ever making an outbound call?
First 5 seconds before they can skip. What if there was a way, right? A question. And also in the first 5 seconds, the question, right? The question hook is also targeting, calling out his ideal audience because he's talking to people that want to get more insurance prospects, right? So if you're not someone who sells insurance or you don't want insurance prospects, you're probably going to skip. But if you hear this first sentence,
what if there was a way for you to get more insurance prospects and appointments without ever making an outbound call?
All right, and you're someone who's called people outbound, cold called them to get insurance prospects, you're going to be paying attention. You're going to give them 5 more seconds, right? And then ultimately, look at this. We have captions now. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is the hook is very strong. His other hook was very strong as well. I'm not discrediting that. However, the captions bring this hook to life even more, and we're doing 2 birds with 1 stone. We're asking a question, and we're also calling out the ideal audience's want. They want to get more insurance prospects, and we're presenting them with a unique opportunity like questioning, what if there was a way you could do this without
get more insurance prospects and appointments without ever making an outbound call?
And then there's B-roll coming onto the screen of somebody who looks like he's frustrated doing cold calls, which is a pain point of this specific target market.
Chasing a single person, knocking on doors, or leaving your house.
You can see that now we just addressed all of the common pain points and frustrations that most of his clients have when they try to scale their business and get more insurance prospects, cold calling, chasing leads, knocking on doors.
At all. Which means that you house at all.
And
leaving your house.
And having to leave his house. Like, people don't want to really leave their houses when they could work from home now, right?
At all. Which means that you can finally work on your own time and scale your business to 50K per month.
Desire. What do they want? They want to scale their business. How big? To 50K per month or more. And he knows this because he knows his target audience so well. This is very important for you out there. If you're a client who wants to work with the YouTube ads expert, specialist, or agency, you need to know your ideal client because this is going to help us or anybody else who's helping you with the creative to know exactly what they want, because this ad works so well because from the very beginning we've constructed the script to bring out all of these pain points and desires, right, and goals of his ideal prospect.
Or more.
Immediately after the question with the big hook, addressing the pain points and frustrations that they have, and then presenting the desire of what if this was possible to scale this, right? And then we go right into social proof and credibility, his story, right? The framework that we use is hook, story, close. 3 steps. Hook, story, close. This is what I learned working full-time for Dean Graziosi that's allowed him to sell hundreds of millions of dollars online, regardless of YouTube ads. He was doing it from the infomercial days, right? Where you had to get somebody, the housewife or the person working from home or staying with the kids, walking across the television set to stop in their tracks, look at the TV, and then call in to purchase your product, which is a very, very hard thing to do if you think about it. Nowadays, we have Facebook ads, we have YouTube ads, we have all types of different easier ways to get in front of people like YouTube where they have to physically skip it. Like they can't go around not watching it. You know, the TV channel, they can just change the channel, right? And then, you know, it's just so much harder. Dean taught me the framework of hook, story, close. So now we're going into the story, right? So you hook them in, but who the hell are you, right? That's what these people are thinking. Why should I care? Who are you? Like, what do you do? So now here's the story and the social proof and credibility.
Thomas, founder of Insurance Advertising Masters. I created the Masters Edge dual funnel.
Also, you can hear the music changed as well. Change in the music. Now the ad's more upbeat, it's more engaging, you can feel it. It has some momentum behind it. Plus, right, he also introduces his unique mechanism, the Master's Edge dual funnel system. If you're someone who's selling insurance, you're someone who wants to get more insurance prospects, you've probably never heard of this, which is immediately going to give Justin more of your time because you want to learn what the hell this is.
Because I wanted to help insurance agents and agencies free themselves.
Boom. Target market. I wanted to help insurance agents and agencies. If you're not an insurance agent and you're not an insurance agency, you're not going to continue watching. Like there's just no reason for you to do this. Qualifying and disqualifying all throughout the first 30 seconds. And it's only been 25 seconds. You can see why this is very important.
Lead vendors and get off the hamster wheels where appointments are coming to them so that they can finally scale their business.
Appointments coming to them, desire. And then what do they ultimately want? To scale their business because they want to have the freedom.
And I wanted them to achieve this without buying leads, cold calling, cold emailing, referrals, talking to friends or family, or anything like that at all.
Pain points and frustrations again.
That's why I developed a new sales funnel system that
new. Everybody likes new.
Attracts prospects 24/7. It cuts down the amount of time that it takes for you to get a sale. And it allows agents and agencies to scale massively and become real businesses.
Real business owners, right? If you're someone who's an insurance agent or agency and you're working all day and night by yourself and you're struggling to get by, or you're someone who is, just slaving away and trying to do it all on your own, you want to become a business owner and have a team underneath you. He's presenting you with an opportunity to help you do that. Again, the desire. So that is just a quick 50-second preview of the ad. And now let's go to the nitty-gritty, the results, okay? Cost per view, 31 cents, 10 cents less. Cost per 1,000 impressions, about $10 less. Click-through rate, 1%. So now we're closer to that 1% benchmark that we like to see. Cost per click. The cost per click dropped by 34%, $2.31, which is significant amount of money if you guys think about it, right? We dropped the cost per click in half with this new YouTube ad. If you have 100 clicks, instead of those 100 clicks costing you, right, $600, which is 100 times 6, $600, now they're only costing you $300. So you can get more clicks for less, right? Or you pay half the amount for clicks. The landing page conversion rate also improved by about 8% right here, by 35% plus, because we had more qualified people coming through the door from the traffic, right? Which is very, very significant. But the cost per lead dropped by 54%. All right, this is where we get into the fun stuff. The cost per lead went from $26 to $11.96. The cost per lead dropped by 54%, which went from $26 to $14.26. That's significant amount of money saved from just the creatives, right? Just the targeting. Nothing done to the back end yet. Now, the cost per call also decreased by 37%. We went from $322 to $119.60. Again, significant change with just the creative alone. Okay, not even getting into the sales yet. Now adding in the sales team, let's just say everything's the same, right? The return on ad spend improved by $2.23. Now, of course, during this time, I will admit, it wasn't all just us, right? I can't take credit. And if somebody tries to say like they take credit for all of this, they're just not ethical people. Justin also did have a change in his closing team as well. He hired a better closer, I believe, and he changed out a few things on the back end, which allowed us to achieve this result, also combining that element, right? So all encompassing here, the new creatives, same targeting, just the new creatives that we've went through with our proven process, and him changing some things around and dialing it in with the sales team allowed him to now go from literally losing money on the front end, right? Basically breaking even, to improving his return on ad spend by $2.23. So now he's getting a 2 to 3x return. Right now we're in June. He's sitting at a 6x return on ad spend. A 6x return on ad spend 14 days into June, which is just phenomenal results. And it's only going to keep going up from there as we continue to implement this process, which we call dynamic creative rejuvenation, which again brings me back to the first point. It's very important that if you're working with a YouTube ad specialist, expert or agency, you have to trust the process here, because ultimately the biggest thing that can help you move the needle, reduce cost per leads, reduce cost per calls, is new ads. All right. And then here's some high-res screenshots. You can see April 1st to the 19th, breaking even, basically losing money. April 20th to May 12th, right? A 3x return on investment. Okay. And then again, today in June, we're about a 6x return on investment. I think we spent about $15,000, maybe closer to 20, and he's already close to about $100,000+ in revenue, which is just phenomenal. And again, we're going to be posting his YouTube testimonial this week, probably tomorrow or Thursday. My guess is tomorrow, once my editing team puts it together. You can hear his story, his side of the experience as well, what it's been like working with us, why he chose to work with us in the first place. And ultimately, the big takeaway here, guys, is that if you're having trouble scaling with YouTube ads, whether you're running ads yourself for your offer, right? Or you're running ads for other people's offers and they're paying you to help them scale with YouTube ads, there's one common big idea that you need to take away from this video right now. It's the simple fact that when you find a winning ad, and I learned this again from Dean Graziosi, so credit to him for teaching me very, very well with direct response marketing. One thing that I took away from him was he would always say, like, the moment I launched a new book to cold traffic and it worked, that's when I knew I had 2 to 3 years before I had to do another one, right? Because he knew that there was only such a small window of time that he could literally max out this offer to the best of its abilities and scale it until he had to refresh it, come out with something new. Just like you have to be with YouTube ads, right? If your cost per lead starts increasing, if your cost per call starts increasing, the number one thing that I found to reduce the cost per lead and the cost per call is new ads. 100% time and time again, whenever the cost per lead or cost per call goes up for our clients, the thing that always brings the cost per lead and cost per call down, new ads, testing new ads, launching new ads, creating new ads. It's a very simple thing, but most people overlook this. And this is why a lot of people get hurt with YouTube ads. They throw up 3 ads, 5 ads, and none of them work, or none of them work as good as they want. And then they say, YouTube ads was too expensive. YouTube ads doesn't work. They tested 5 ads. Again, I'll emphasize this like I've mentioned it previously. When I was working full-time for Dean, for his free plus shipping book offer, Millionaire Success Habits, we've tested over 123 YouTube ads for that one offer. That offer also allowed us to generate close to $2 to $3 million on the front end alone. And that took about 123 ads, okay? Out of those 123 ads or so, only about 12 of them actually, scaled and spent the majority of the budget, 80% of the budget. 12 of those ads out of the 123, that's like 10%, right? And then out of the 12 ads, right, there was only about 4 to 5 of those that really, really were the main needle movers for the business, that scaled like crazy and that were seen by millions of people around the world. So you can do that math here. That's a lot of ads tested, and only 10% of them took the majority of the spend, and then only 10% of those took the majority of that spend. So you have to be testing new ads. You have to constantly refresh your creatives. And again, to do this, the takeaways here, number 1, dynamic creative rejuvenation, constantly testing new ads and refreshing your ads. And how you can do that, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video when we were comparing the ads. Captions is a way you can easily test new creatives. Let's say you don't even have time to film a whole new ad, right? If you have a limited amount of time, simply try throwing up some captions on the video that's already working. That can also help it be a little bit different, right? Give you a different refresh of the ads. Try adding some background music, right? Some sound effects. That also can improve the quality of your ad. Captions plus sound effects and background music. And then also try adding some B-roll. Like, there's really no B-roll in this first ad at all, right? So it's really hard for the viewer to relate to this. And again, this one worked. I'm not discrediting this by any means, but to refresh it, try adding some B-roll when you're talking about the pain points and the frustrations. All right. Captions, sound effects and background music, B-roll, okay, and motion graphics. These are all motion graphics and, sound effects combined to make really one killer ad. So again, dynamic creative rejuvenation, refreshing your ads, especially if you're running into scaling problems and you can't seem to scale past that $1,000 a day mark. It's usually because you're not testing enough new creatives or you're not refreshing your creatives enough consistently. How do you refresh them? Instead of really writing a whole new script, which would be recommended as well, you could simply add captions, right? B-roll, sound effects, and background music. All of those things can definitely help. And you can also just test a new hook, right? Instead of filming a whole new script as well, you can just test writing a new hook, filming it on your iPhone and putting it in front of the first, 5 to 10 seconds, 15 seconds of the original ad. And that's also a refreshing creative. So these are just a few ideas that we can take you through that we do here at adspend.com. We teach you how to do it in our Done With You, YouTube ads coaching program. And we also do it for our clients if you're a Done For You client. So just wanted to give you guys some value here, show you some real results from one of our clients that's just really amazing. Again, they're doing about 6x return on ad spend right now in June. So I'm excited to share the testimonial with you guys tomorrow so you can hear Justin's experience, what it's been like working with us. And again, you can't discount the creative. Can't discount the creative. So I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you a better idea of what it takes to really scale with YouTube ads and why it's so important and why you need a team of experts to really help you with this. Because if you're busy running your own business yourself, you don't have time to do all this, right? To obsess on this because you're managing people, you're trying to scale the business, you're running the ads, you're trying to hire people, you're trying to train people. It's a lot of things to do. To focus on this takes a lot of mental bandwidth. So you can see why it pays to have a team of people helping you. Right? Anyways, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got some value out of it, comment what the big idea and big takeaway for you was down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep smiling, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.